Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if this lighting works. I've had to move around the house. It's not working out for me. Hey y'all, it's Lindsay. I thought I would attempt to revive my Wellness Wednesday videos here on my channel, given the fact that I am doing Vlogmas in July. Sorry, words are hard. And yeah, it seemed like as good a time as any to try to reinstate Wellness Wednesdays. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video and checking it out. I am Lindsay. I do a lot of what I eat in a day videos, recipe videos. I occasionally will go live and talk about whatever is on my mind, usually pertaining to health and wellness. I will very rarely do a grocery haul, and I am trying to get back on the bandwagon with food prep videos because those help me so very much. My lighting is very wonky because the thunderstorms keep rolling through and then the sun peeks out and then it goes away, so please forgive me for that. If any of that sounds interesting to you whatsoever, I would love to have you poke around my channel and consider subscribing if you want to. If you are a returning viewer, I appreciate you. I know that I say that all the time, but I really do appreciate you. So thank you for coming back. Also, what is my hair doing? I don't know. I thought we could go ahead and talk about how that past week went as far as food choices and things of that nature, and then also sort of if any of my measurements have changed. And then also, I am so jazzed. I finally found my blood glucose and ketone monitors in a box. So excited. I've talked ad nauseum about not being able to find these guys, and they're here in my hand. I'm glad. Going back to the beginning of the list, food choices this past week. I have gone from having a high protein, moderate fat, low carb way of eating to a high fat, moderate protein, low carb way of eating. And there seems to be a kerfluffle happening outside my door. So excuse me. Okay, mischief managed. So I have gone back to sort of my higher fat roots, as it were. I did do a high fat, low carb, moderate protein way of eating. Gosh, it's been like 6 years now, and I've ebbed and flowed from doing the high fat thing to the high protein thing. I did eat Trim Healthy Mama, which introduces carbs often, and I did that while I was pregnant and nursing my youngest. So I've kind of been in that realm for the past 6+ years. I decided to shift back to a higher fat way of eating because I started to notice my cravings were going out of control. I wanted to eat all the time. I wanted 100% of the protein. I could sit down and eat 3 pounds of steak and still want more, kind of a thing. It was just, I was never satiated. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, was just rampant in my body, and leptin was suppressed. So I decided to switch it up, go back to a higher fat way of eating. My friend Amy at Carnivore's Angel, she encouraged me strongly to do so, see what happened. And I have felt so much more satiated, so much more satisfied, and a lot fewer cravings seem to creep in. All of that said, eating a more moderate amount of protein has been a little bit tricky. I am so accustomed to not restricting anything except carbs, and to restrict protein, it's not been my natural way of, walking through life. That has been a little bit of a struggle. I have definitely overeaten protein on almost every day this past week, and whether it is one too many chicken thighs, or it's been more brisket than I should probably have consumed, or whatever the case may be. I could literally eat a dozen eggs and not blink twice. So it's one of those pieces of the puzzle where I'm having to mindfully reduce the amount of protein and amplify the amount of fat I'm consuming. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And I think that my inability to fully pull back my protein to approximately 65 grams of protein per day, that has sort of kept me at a static number on the scale. I'm good with the numbers on the scale, to be honest. My range is usually 145 to 152, and not seeing like that 7-pound range tends to do very nicely for my height, for my my build, all of that jazz. So no problems there, but I had been seeing a steady decline on the scale. So I knew immediately that my consumption was off. Also my measurements. None of my measurements shifted, like maybe 1/16 of an inch, if that. So negligible shift in body composition. And so that was all kind of static. That's about the best word I can use to describe it. In recent live videos, I have lamented the fact that I could not find my blood glucose monitor or my blood ketone monitor. And I had been using some of these Keto Mojo urine test strips for ketones, and almost consistently I land somewhere between 0.5 and 1.5 millimoles per liter on these strips. That is measuring the wasted ketones in your urine. I clearly have enough ketones that my body is able to waste a certain volume of those and indicate that I am in ketosis. So that has been super great. I like the urine test strips. They're very easy to use. They're very inexpensive. The only thing is the more efficient your body becomes in ketosis, the fewer wasted ketones you will see register on things like urine test strips or a breath test. So that is one of the drawbacks, which is why I really wanted to find my blood monitors, and I finally did, and I am so excited. So I have had these in my hot little hands for about 2 days now, and when I pulled it out of the box that it had been hiding in, I realized that I only had 3 ketone test strips left. My monitors are the Keto BM Plus. Let's see if we can't get it to focus on this instead of my face. And then I use the Rely On brand of blood glucose monitors. I like having them separate. It means that I can prick my finger and I can test both things at the exact same time. It works out really well. The Rely On brand, I get that at Walmart. Sorry, that was upside down. It's very inexpensive by comparison. I usually buy the canisters of 50 test strips. I want to say they were about $20, $25, somewhere in that range. So fairly cost effective. And the Ketone BM Plus, I got all of my test strips off Amazon. When I found my monitors, I realized I only had 3 ketone test strips left. So frustrating. I went ahead and I tested my ketones and my blood glucose. My blood glucose has not reached over 100 any of the times that I have tested. A lot of that has to do about timing when you test, or what you have consumed and how many minutes after you consumed it did you test, and those kind of things. But my blood glucose is usually resting around 75 to 81. And then if I've eaten something, it's usually around 92. And then it comes back down. So my blood glucose numbers have been solidly in a comfortable range for myself. My blood ketones, on the other hand, I was a little befuddled by my numbers. So keeping in mind that I've been wasting at least 0.5, if not 1.5 millimoles per liter of ketones, I thought for sure my numbers on the Keto BM Plus were going to be great. I thought I was going to get some really solid blood keto numbers. Well, the first test strip I did was at 0.2, not ketosis. My second test strip I did later on was 0.4, not ketosis. And my last test strip went back to 0.2. So my blood monitor was showing I was not registering ketosis whatsoever. My P strips were indicating that I was wasting ketones. So what is real here? What is real? What is accurate? And you know, all of these test strips, there is a degree of error on all of them. And what I had not done was order new test strips. The last time I tested my blood ketones, I had opened a vial of 10 strips. I had used 7 of them, and then I left the other 3 in that store packaging, that vial that they come in, and it had been well over a month and a half since I last tested my blood ketones. And those vials tell you to use them within a certain amount of time of having opened those ketone strips, or if you're using glucose strips, those glucose strips. They do have a shelf life, and you do typically want to use them within that time span so that you get a most accurate reading possible. So I'm not reading anything accurate on my blood ketone monitor, and I am all out of test strips. I'm all out of my vials. I need to reorder, and so I'm going to hop on the Amazons and I'm going to reorder 40 test strips ASAP. I believe those are like right at $40. I don't remember. Yeah, you can get a 40 pack of the test strips for the Keto BM for 40 bucks. So I'm going to do that so I have fresh test strips. I am going to try to get my most accurate readings I possibly can. And it's possible that this ketone monitor is just working within the range of error that it has. And I can't remember what that range is right now, but all of these things, they have a margin of error. So I don't know what that all comes out to, but that is what I'm going to do and just sort of see where things take me. I don't feel like I'm not in ketosis. I don't feel like I'm in like super awesome hyper ketosis mode, but I feel comfortable where I'm at. There's nothing more to report on this topic at the moment. We shall see what next Wednesday brings. I think that's where I'm going to leave you today. That is all I really wanted to talk about, was the excitement I had for finding my monitors, and then the disappointment that I was not getting the readings that actually felt like they were happening. So, yeah, there we are. I hope to see you in my next video.